We are the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to be your host for this segment. I've actually been your host for all the segments so far because my co-founder either hasn't given me the videos he's planning, or I haven't been in contact with him for a little while now. So maybe I'll have to give him a call soon. Or if he sees this video, dude, hit me up. You know, it's easier for you to contact me than it is for me to contact you. So give me a call, man. Stop being such a stranger all of a sudden. But if you've been following us, we're on the second segment here of the emergency broadcast, number 1. I call it because there's going to be an occasional video. I call them the emergency broadcast because they're not planned. Like my broadcast number 1 and broadcast number 2, I've planned it. I haven't started it yet. But I gave you the links to it. If you're following us, I gave you the links in one of the earlier videos to the articles that are going to be discussed in broadcast number 2. But with the real broadcast, I plan them out. You know, I gather my sources, I study the sources, I document them into a cohesive manner, and then I formulate a outline of how to present the information. With the emergency broadcast, it's just if I find some really good information that needs to be told, I will just do an emergency broadcast that's not going to be well planned out. It's just me giving you the information and giving you, some sidebar to it, because again, the New World Order is very large. It's hard to grasp in 10-minute videos, which is what I'm limited to, making these little 9-minute, 8-minute videos. It's a lot to cover, and again, it's a lot for me to compile the evidence and present it to you. And I try to only present evidence that you yourself can go check out, all the viewers here. So as you mentioned last one, I did a little rant about 2012 and how it's just a big sham to make you feel fearful. And then I also went on to talking about the Child Protective Services and the fact that they're taking, and I already got the links ready. I got the links for some articles about the disabled parents losing their children. Now what I want to get on to is mind control. Now this is going to tie in to really what Broadcast 3 is going to be about, but really what Broadcast 2 is going to introduce it. Mind control is very real, folks. It is very real, and recently there was a Discovery Channel or National Geographic Channel show where these debunkers, these guys that like to debunk claims, were trying to debunk the claim that Sirhan Sirhan, the guy that killed Bobby Kennedy, was under mind control when he killed him. And again, there's a lot of information about that. I advise viewers to go look into that. But basically what got me talking about it is a bunch of articles recently have come out that inmates who were, the guy in Colorado, the guy that went to the Batman thing and shot up all those people at the late night viewing of that Batman movie. Well, it turns out when he was in jail, he was telling some of the people that he was celled with, he wasn't isolated by himself. He was in with other inmates for a little while, and he was telling the other inmates that he was brainwashed by a psychologist to do this to go kill those people. It now turns out that psychologist was actually part of a San Antonio-based Air Force PSYOP. This lady was shipped from a San Antonio Air Force PSYOP base to this school that the kid was attending for his doctorate degree. And the kid was already studying mind control. That was his main focus of study in psychology, was mind control. They chose him to be part of this little group that was funded by the government to do something. And he had personal interaction with this mind control PSYOPs officer from the Air Force who was sent there for some reason to do this. So mind control is very real, folks. They had a program called MK Ultra that they supposedly ended, even though some insiders have come out and said MK Ultra was never ended. And what they did was they used drugs. They used a light flashes from televisions, to cause, your brain operates on an electro field, electric synapses capture brain waves and stuff like that. It's all electromagnetic stuff going on inside your brain. And they've learned that through certain drugs and through certain visual sensory things, they can cause your brain to release certain electro pulses that formulate with synapses and cause your brain to do certain things. Make you more open to suggestions. Again, another name for this is called hypnotism. And go talk to a psychologist. I mean, I went to a psychologist for a little bit, and his main thing was hypnotism. That was the one thing that he knew a lot about, was hypnotism. So it's very real, folks. They can alter the way you think, and they do it constantly. And again, this is going to tie in with broadcast number 3, really, because in broadcast 3, we're going to talk about how they use the media, the news, TV shows, and movies, and music to influence your mind. But again, I'm jumping ahead here. This is the emergency broadcast where I'm based off new information. So again, information's come out that this Colorado student was, in fact, a brainwashed assassin. Now, why would they do this? Why would the government train somebody to go and shoot a bunch of people up like that? Well, it sort of ties into what happened to Trayvon Martin down in Florida, where that neighborhood watch guy shot the kid, and they tried to turn it into this big racial thing between Latinos and blacks, and say, you know, the news media took that all by. And it also ties into Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious was when the government was ordering gun shops to sell guns to Mexican drug cartels, basically. And again, it's all about getting rid of the Second Amendment. It's all about taking away the people's right to protect themselves. You know, we're allowed, with the Founding Fathers put in the Bill of Rights, that the people are allowed to be armed. They're allowed to be armed just as much as the military for the sake of protecting themselves, because the Founding Fathers had to protect themselves from their own government. So it makes sense that a criminal government trying to conquer us and make us their slaves would want us to be defenseless against them. So that this all ties together. The Colorado shooter, the Trayvon Martin thing, and the Fast and the Furious are all linked together to what the UN is trying to go after. In March, Congress is going to vote whether or not to impose the UN gun ban, and even now some groups are saying that President Obama plans to use regulations to implement gun control without even going to Congress. You know, he's just going to use his executive privilege and ignore the rest of the government. And again, Congress is the representative branch. You know, they're really the guys that represent us on a local level. So if they're being ignored, we're being ignored, folks. And I'm not even, you know, some Congress and senators are bad guys too, but there's some good guys in there as well. But basically that's it. Assassin mind control. That was the note I wrote down. And you know, it all ties together. They're using this as a way to say that owning guns is bad. Owning guns is not bad. Being irresponsible, being a government assassin is wrong. Selling guns to known criminals is wrong. But you having a gun to protect yourself from whether it be a burglar or whether it be a government kill squad, you having a gun to protect yourself is a good thing. And again, it's all about defense. You don't want to go out and shoot people. That's wrong. We're totally against violence here at the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network, but we are for self-defense. You should be smart enough to defend yourself and able to defend yourself with whatever arms necessary. That being said, I think I'm going to end this segment now and do one more segment here with the emergency broadcast. Again, I'm just going over some recent information that I learned just today that I wanted to get out to you folks. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you in future broadcasts. Stay safe, stay strong, stay free, stay informed.